So the way I structure it, because I think about it now, I've actually got a lot of people working in my Amazon business now. Yeah, which is incredible to think about it, but that's kind of snuck up on me. Anyway, so what I do is I use a few different pieces of software to manage that process. What you're trying to achieve is that you've got levels of access to your Amazon business. Levels of access to your Amazon business. Now, in Seller Central, again, let me just pause that. In Seller Central, am I going to be giving anything away here? No. Sorry. I really should have set this up before I realised that. I do apologise. In Seller Central, what you have to facilitate that in settings is user permissions. So just go to settings, user permissions, and you can set up lots and lots of different people to have different levels of access to your Seller Central account. So for instance, if you've got somebody who runs your Amazon PPC for you, then you can set things up so they get access to your Amazon PPC, but nothing else. If you've got somebody what does your day-to-day stock monitoring for you, then you can set that up so they just get access to your stock levels, but nothing else. And if you've got somebody who manages pretty much most of the business for you, then you can give them admin access to most of the different areas, and so you can control the level of access an individual gets. Okay, so there's that you can do. Works really, really well, not a problem at all. Seller Central facilitates that for you. So next comes, well, here's a little tip for you. I often get asked how I'm able to have multiple Seller Central accounts. Well, it's pretty easy. Pretty easy. Given that once you've got a Seller Central account set up under a company name with a company credit card, debit card, whatever it might be, then anybody that's a shareholder of that company, hint, hint, you, owns the company. The directors are just the custodians of the company. The shareholders own the company. So it's then pretty easy to set yourself up with admin access to that Seller Central account, and therefore you can control multiple Seller Central accounts if, for instance, that would ever be useful for you. And it is in some cases. So there's that. Anyway, I don't want to get too much into that because that's hacky stuff. What I'll get in trouble for. So Seller Central account, back to that. That's cool. Next question ought to be then, how on earth do you give them access to your Seller Central account? Well, Seller Central again facilitates that by giving them their own username and password, and you can have hundreds of users and passwords to your Seller Central account, to one account. And so that's Seller Central, that's a piece of piss to do. Next up, I use something called LastPass, which is where we are now, to manage all of my passwords. So let's suppose I want one of my outsourcers, my virtual assistants, to have access to my Merchant Words account. So in LastPass, I just add Merchant Words into my LastPass account and then set it up so that that particular virtual assistant can use LastPass to access the Merchant Words account. They never ever get to see the passwords. That's all stored in LastPass. They never ever get to see the username either, and if you don't want them to. Again, that's all stored in LastPass. So what you're giving them access to is the software without the knowledge of the username or the password, and that's done through LastPass. This is a lifesaver for me. I absolutely love it. So there's that. So then we use that, and then to manage my projects that I run, I use Basecamp, which, by the way, if you're in Diamond, you will also know that we use Basecamp to manage all of our Diamond clients as well. It makes things really, really cool because there's typically heaps of people working on each individual diamond client's business. We have heaps of people who are doing that, from myself to the coach, from my team, from different people we use for different elements of what we give to them in Diamond. So again, we need to have lots of people all with access, and so Basecamp facilitates that really, really well. And what else do we use? And then the final thing I use to manage the training of my people is something called Process Street. Process.st. So process.st. This manages all of our training and all of our training files. And again, it facilitates people just having levels of access. So for instance, for this particular business, Orvi is admin of this, and she manages that whole process for me, and then she manages the outsourcers, and she runs the outsourcers through Process Street, through Basecamp, etc., etc., etc. So that's how I manage everything for it. Makes it much, much easier. If you're struggling with sound, Cass, I'm not sure what to say to that. Everybody else seems to be fine. Sarah, so does the VA have your last password? No, they do not. They have access. Let me see if I can, hold on, let me just see if I can figure something to do. Merchant words, maybe that will do it. And I'll just log in. Alright. So, here is merchant words, for instance, and here's my merchant words account. So this is what the outsourcer will see. They will see in the corner, the right hand corner, a little LastPass icon, and when they click it, it gives them this information here, what says fill the details in, and it will just fill the username and the password in this instance, but they don't get to see the password. The password is protected, but it just gives them access without them realizing what it is. So I don't give them the access to LastPass. What they get is they get the URL for merchant words. I've already set it up, so they have got access through LastPass, and then all they do is come along, click the right button, and that gets them in. So that's how that works. Hey, thanks so much for watching that video, and I hope that you got some massive value from it. Before you go, do you live in Australia? If you do, this is for you. Would you like to learn how to sell things on Amazon here in Australia? Would you like to know what sells really, really well and what sells for the maximum amount of profit? Would you like to know where you can source those products from, whether that be in China or here in Australia, and how to source them so you pay bottom dollar and get maximum value for what you're doing? If you do, please subscribe to my channel and like this video, and you'll learn that and much, much more. It's the exact same information that people like Jeff from New South Wales I've used to make $45,000 a month on Amazon, that Sue, who's from the sunny coast, has used to purchase herself a brand spankly BMW every single year as a result of her e-commerce business, and the lovely Kate from Bowral in New South Wales has used to make $32,000 a year on, a month, not a year, a month on Amazon, and indeed Anthony, who makes $15,000 a month on Amazon, selling, as he puts it, odds and sods. If you'd like to learn the exact same information that they use to maximize their profits for their Amazon businesses, subscribe to this video, like my channel, post below if you want me to teach you something. Okay, I'm out of here. Speak to you soon. Bye. Subscribe. Do it now.